Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, March the 10th, and we had a chilly but fantastically sunny day here in East Tennessee today. Hope your weather was great as well so that you could get out. Karen and I had a great time walking today. Again, a little chilly, but at least it wasn't raining. It has rained all week here in Knoxville, so it's been crazy. Again, today is March the 10th. This is chat number 356, and it is titled How to Build Healthy Habits That Stick. So I'm anxious to see how many people are going to be here. We're actually on spring break this week. Well, I'm not. I have to work. But the kids here are on spring break this week. So just curious, is it spring break where you live? Is everybody out driving? Is everybody out partying? Hello, Marlene. It's good to see you. Marlene is not out doing spring break. And Lynn, I did. This is one of the things that I did this week that I never ever do. Yeah, so that's one of the things we'll be talking about for just a second. And hello, Sarah from Raleigh, Massachusetts. It is good to see you. But I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. We're officially in the middle of March. We're already coming down on the second week of March. It's so crazy to me. I don't know. Once you get to be this age, your parents always tell you that it's going to go fast. It's going fast, guys. Okay, and let's see. Happy Sunday, Katie. Hello, Mary Ann. It's good to see you. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. Awesome to see you too. Thank you, Lynn. And we'll talk about that a little more in here in a second. And thank you, Sarah. That's one of the things that I did this week that I never ever do. And hello, Elaine. Hello, Mary from Pittsburgh. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Mindy. Everybody say hello to Mindy, and thank you for the compliment. Hello, Carol Lou. It's good to see you. And, oh, well, thank you, Marlene. Thank you very much. This was much needed. And hello, Terry from Connecticut. Oh, Terry paused the Oscars to join in. I didn't even realize that was tonight. Oh, no. And Annette says it is snowing in New York. Sorry. I know. Are y'all used to it? Are you at least in a part of New York that you're used to that and it's not a huge big deal? And hello, Kim. Good to see you. Mary, I did. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. But again, this is, hello, Hattie. I'm Kelly. This is IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. This is our weekly live chat, and thank you, Sandra. It's our weekly live chat. And hello, Orlando Debbie. I've actually been chatting with Orlando Debbie behind the scenes earlier today, or actually just a few minutes ago. But hello, Debbie. It's good to see you. But today is March the 10th, and didn't even know that the Oscars were on tonight. So thanks everybody, for the updates. And hello, Sandra from Naperville. Tonight is chat number 356. Thank you, Debbie. We'll talk about that in a second. But today is chat number 356, which means if you are brand new, first of all, you have to say hello so that we can welcome you, because we love, love, love to welcome new people. And second of all, that means you have 355 other chats that you're going to need to go back and watch, okay? As soon as we get done, you've got to go back and watch 355 other chats. So if you're new, that's your specific homework. Just kidding. And hello, Jonna. You will have other homework to do later, but yeah, so you don't really have to go back and watch 355 of them. But if you wanted to, those are all available on YouTube. It's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and you can go back and watch all those. And hello, Anna. And oh, good. Sherry said Bradley had a good birthday. Yay, that is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna quickly get started. Still love to say hello to everybody, so y'all keep shouting it out because we just got started. Don't think John's going to join us tonight because it sounded like he had a camper full of little girls. It sounded like both of the girls were out in the camper. Their little bodies haven't realized, and hello, Joycelyn from California. They haven't realized, their little bodies haven't realized that the time changed here in East Tennessee tonight. So obviously, many of you either did go ahead and set your clocks forward if you're in an area that does that, or you kept up with it and knew that we were gonna spring forward for an hour. And I have to pause and say, everyone say hello to Shirley. It's just Shirley. Shirley is new, and hello. We are so glad that you were here. We are just saying hello, just welcoming everybody. So everybody go ahead and let Shirley, give her a big welcome. So Shirley, you're the one that has the homework of going back and watching 355 other chats. Just kidding. You don't have to do that. Okay. So a couple of things this week. First of all, today is the first day of the, and hello, Mary. Oh, Mary, y'all are saying hi to her. Sorry. I know, I forgot I just gave you instructions. So the first thing is, today is the first day of the Drink Your Water Challenge that is hosted by, we're just going to say hosted by Julie over on the If You Have an Egg Facebook group. So if you, like Shirley or anybody else, if you are not already a member of the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, some kind soul will post the link to that. Please remember to answer the 3 questions so that I know that you're an actual person and can let you in. I actually had to cut a couple of people this week because I thought they were real people when they asked to get in, and then they started posting some weird stuff. So please do answer those 3 questions, even if it is just, was at the chat, was at the chat, was at the chat, just so that I know that you're an actual human. So this week is the first day of the Drink Your Water Challenge. I've got my water at the ready. I've been drinking it all day, but Julie is kind enough to host these challenges for us, and they alternate every single week. So this week is the Drink Your Water Challenge. You'll have to check that out over on If You Have an Egg, and thank you, Debbie, for posting that, and thank you, Carol Lou, for posting that. They have just posted the link to go over and join the group. It's a fantastic group of ladies, very kind. Everybody's very kind, and trust me, if someone is not kind, they get cut. It gets cut immediately or as quickly as I find it. But that's the first thing today. Second little bit of news. This shouldn't be actual news to those of us who are just boots on the ground Weight Watchers people that were Weight Watchers members and survivors. And I use the term survivors because many of us have lived with and through many, many, many program changes. I think I'm on 25 years of, aloha, Kathy, and thank you. We'll talk about that in a second. I think I'm on 25 years of program changes. So I definitely think that I'm a Weight Watchers survivor, for better or for worse. But if we're here, we have survived them. So many of us have even flourished. So I digress though, the not news. So the not news that I'm talking about is the fact that Oprah has stepped off. She stepped down from her position on the Weight Watchers Board of Directors, and she is donating all of her stock and the proceeds, any future proceeds from her stock. Thank you, Ann. How you feeling? Are you and Melissa on the mend? Just curious, because I'll probably hopefully see you tomorrow night. But anyway, she is donating. She stepped down from her position on the Weight Watchers board, and she's donating her stock and any future proceeds to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, which is awesome. So some of you just went, great, there went my weight loss program. Now what am I going to do? No. I say, bravo, Oprah. Good job. She never asked my opinion, but I say, bravo, Oprah, for stepping aside and letting the new CEO and her staff do what Weight Watchers can do, okay? So for the last few years, we've all kind of been, anything business related with Weight Watchers has been kind of riding on Oprah's coattails. So, everything that's happened has been, Oprah funded it, or Oprah put money in, or Oprah bought stock, Oprah. Okay, Oprah's out of the equation now as far as the board of directors goes only. She's still supporting them. She's still giving them her full support. She will still serve as an advisor, but everything's not going to kind of ride on her coattails. So I think it's a great move for her, because now it's not all about Oprah and her reputation. It's hopefully we're going to get back to the bare bones of Weight Watchers, and what it does for us. But I'm also happy because this showing that they can do it without Oprah, and us too, because she never called me or gave me any advice, but showing that we can do it, and us too, without her name on it, it's going to be fantastic. And bonus, do you really think, so for the handful of people who have said, oh my gosh, Weight Watchers is going out of business, Oprah sold her stock. A, didn't sell it, she donated it. And do you really think that Oprah would donate her stock to a foundation that's so important to her as the National Museum of African American History and Culture? And sorry, it's so long I had to read it. Do you really think that she would donate her stock and the future proceeds if she didn't think that the stock was going to go somewhere again? Anyway, I think it was a smart move. And best news of all, next Sunday, so a week from today, March the 17th, is mine and John's 35th wedding anniversary. Uh-oh, did somebody named Janie sneak in? Hello, Janie. Lynn just alerted me to your presence, so hello. Next Sunday, though, is mine and John's 35th wedding anniversary, but don't worry, we're celebrating on Friday night, so you all can celebrate here with me on Sunday night. And don't get your knickers in a wad. I asked John, he's totally fine with it. He was like, no, I'd rather do something on Friday night than do something on Sunday. So next Sunday, March the 17th, is our 35th wedding anniversary. If you want to send cash and presents, I'm just kidding. Don't send anything. I will be here with you. So fingers crossed, we will be here together next Sunday night. So, okay. There was one thing that I said I've never done last week. Thank you, Barbara. There was one thing that I said that I've never done that I did this week. There's actually 3 things that I've never done that I did this week. So one of them you all have already figured out. For the first time, hello Susie, for the first time since I was in, I think, 4th grade, my hair is above my shoulders. I don't know. I got a wild hair. Casey had cut it. My hair used to be down to here, then up to here, then Casey cut it to here, and I just got a wild hair last week to just go ahead and get a big girl haircut and get it cut up above my shoulders. And she put in a couple of layers, but she said, hello, Trish. I got a couple of layers put in, but she goes, okay, I'm not going to go all 1990 Jennifer Aniston on you and cut a bunch of layers. So, yeah. So, anyway, so got my hair cut, got all my hair did, and I can't quit messing with it because I'm not used to my hair being that short or having pieces of hair actually touching my face. Okay, so that's one thing that I did this week. Thank you so much, everybody. So that's one thing that I did this week that I've never done. I've not since I was in like 4th grade has it ever been this short. The second thing is I did all of my grocery shopping this week at Walmart. So a handful of you all, so some of you all were guessing what the thing was that I had never done before, and it involved a lot of cottage cheese. It involved running. It involved, you know, some things that are really seriously never ever going to happen. But I did all of my grocery shopping at Walmart this week. I survived. We do have one Walmart here in Knoxville that has been remodeled, and they've got polished concrete floors. My husband didn't do them. But anyway, they have polished concrete floors. The aisles are a little bit wider. It's a little bit smaller Walmart. But I did all of my grocery shopping there, and I have to tell you, I'm not going to do that again. It's still Walmart. Okay, so just as a little bit of news, and we will go back to the regularly scheduled chat, but that was one thing that I'd never done. Did it this week. I price shopped, compared. Yeah, and Cheryl said her guess was something around Walmart. Yeah. So price shopped, compared, didn't save any money. Why does anybody shop there? I mean, I cannot figure out why. So didn't get my discounts, did much better when I went through and checked, or I went back and checked to see how much I would have paid at Kroger, which is, I don't know if y'all have Kroger where you're at, but here we have Kroger, Ingles. We do have a couple of Publix grocery stores. Of course, we have one Trader Joe's, a couple of Aldi, Food City, which I think is more local. But anyway, I compared what I got at Walmart with what I could have gotten at Kroger, and with the digital coupons they had this week, and with the, you know how they have those buy 5 of this, get, you know, something off deal, whatever. Walmart was no cheaper. No, zero cheaper. And they didn't have some of the things that I wanted. So what's the point? Okay, anyway, I tried it once. I tried it. Won't be doing that again. Not for all my groceries. There are a handful of things like Dusty's medicine that we have to get there, but outside of that, won't be doing it again. Then the third thing that I did this week that I've never done before is I revisited the year 2017. Pretty in depth. We're going to talk about that in the second half. Okay, so back to the chat. This is chat number 356. We are talking about how to build healthier habits, but last week we were talking about how to stay inspired no matter what. Okay, I'm sorry, Debbie says they don't have Ingles, Kroger, or Food City. Yeah, so Food City is really very regional, and I think Ingles is even more regional than Food City. But if you have Meyer or Fred Meyer, it's owned by the same people as Kroger. So, okay, so chat for last week was how to stay inspired. So y'all are going to inspire me by telling me if you went to an in-person workshop last week. So did you stay inspired at the scale at an in-person workshop last week? Give me a thumbs up for that. And new people, all you're doing is telling me if you went to an in-person workshop last week or if you attended a virtual workshop. Give me some thumbs ups. Yep, and Sarah went to Larry's twice. So thumbs ups for that. Or if you were here with us live last week or you watched later on demand, let's see some hearts for that. Seeing lots of hearts and thumbs ups. Yeah, good job, everybody. So bravo stickers for attending your in-person workshops, virtual workshops, and for attending here with us. Yeah, bravo to everyone. Oh, goodness. Linda said Kroger was great, but now it's only delivery in Oklahoma City. What? That stinks. That really stinks. Okay. Oh, Debbie says Publix controls the state of Florida. Debbie, I still think I would have come out better going to Publix. I still think I would have come out better going to Publix, because a handful of things I was like, I think this is more than I would have paid somewhere else. Okay, so last week we were talking about how many previous chats that we had where we had an obsession with the scale, and it's a lot of them. So we were talking about ways to kind of stay motivated, you know, at the scale, you know, no matter what it says. One of them was to revisit your why. So why you're doing this might not be the scale, you know, and this is it might be your first time joining Weight Watchers. It might be your 5th or 6th time. This is my 6th go round, and I've stayed the entire time, have not left, have not diverted, this whole time, the 6th time. And that's been for 20, let's see. Well, I mean, I've been a Weight Watchers member now just shy of, actually, I keep saying 25, but Casey just turned 30. So it would be 20, 28 years. Wow, I need to update my little thing. So 28 years, but just to revisit your why. So if you don't remember what your why is, kind of revisit it. Another thing I wanted you to do was to name 3 things that have changed this month. So even if the scale's not budging, I wanted you to name 3 things that have changed this month about your body, and then to do a victory lap. And y'all did an excellent job of blowing up the If You Have an Egg Facebook group with your homework this week. I saw lots of people did their homework, lots of comments about it. So those, we were talking about, those NSVs, non-scale victories, and I wanted y'all to blow it up with your homework this week and give us some non-scale victory, make a victory lap, and then everybody else be a cheerleader, and y'all were great cheerleaders too. Even if you didn't do your homework, y'all were fantastic cheerleaders of those who did. So last week your homework was #victory lap. And there were lots of them, but I picked these 3. So Vicky's husband, this is critical. If you have a partner, whether it's a husband, a significant other, a child, whatever. So Vicky's husband is seeing her success, and he's been providing encouragement and help however he can. That's a keeper, okay? That is definitely a victory, because that means he knows it's working and he sees how serious she is about it. That is a victory in and of itself, okay? Second one, Kim's clothes. Kim is here. Kim's clothes are a little looser, and she's having to wear a belt with her pants. Fantastic. Fantastic. And then Marlene wears a uniform to work. She's a crossing guard. She's the one who stands out there and keeps your children safe. But her uniform shirt, all of the buttons button now. So even though they keep them tucked in their pants, she said it is darn nice to have all of the buttons buttoned, and she said it's feeling a little bit loose. So congratulations, Marlene, and everybody else. Congratulations on doing your homework. Here's more free Bravo stickers for everyone who did their homework this week. You all are amazing and fantastic. Okay. This week's topic is how to build healthy habits that stick. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. If you did not see my note yesterday, I guess it was, about needing a pencil and a piece of paper, or just some kind of a writing utensil. It doesn't matter what it is. A crayon, whatever you got near you. Thank you, Vicki. I got it all cut off. Some form of a writing utensil and a scrap piece of paper. We're not commemorating or memorializing. We're not memorializing this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just a scrap piece of paper and something to write with. So y'all have 60 seconds to grab that and go. 60 seconds. Do, 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 do. Oh, and look up. Do, 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 do. So go, go, go. You have 45 seconds to get your writing utensil and your piece of paper. Let me know when you're back. I'll try all the elevator songs for you. I will say, this haircut, this is the shortest little ponytail ever. I've never had a ponytail this short. And I do have to figure out a way to keep it back, because I went to a job site to an envelope. That'll be fantastic, Mary. Toilet paper, whatever, just something you're just going to make some tick marks. Went to a job site to measure for a lady's kitchen cabinets, and went down, and my hair was all in my face the whole time. So, got to figure something out on that. Okay, you have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Hello, Lisa. Thank you. Lisa, hurry, hurry, hurry. You have 2 seconds. No, 1. You have 0 seconds. Go grab a piece of scrap paper and a pencil. Okay, Vicky's ready. Elaine's ready. Okay, you all are ready. So, now that you're back, let's take a little quiz, and I do want you to shout out your results at the end of the quiz, okay? No matter what they are. So, it doesn't matter what the answer is. I want you to shout out your results. I also want to tell you, though, this is not a test, so you're not competing with anybody. You are not being graded. It's just a little quiz, and it'll make sense when we get done. Okay, so what I want you to do is, for every one of these things that I ask you, so for every statement that I make or every question that I ask, if you can answer yes, so if your answer is yes, then you'll put a little tick mark, okay? So you can number your page if you want to. You don't have to. You can number it 1 through 10 because there are 10 questions. You do not have to number it 1 through 10. Just know if your answer is yes, 1 little mark, okay? 1 little tick mark, 1 little hashtag. And hello, Barbara. But so 1 little mark for each one that you can answer yes to, and none if you answered no, and none if you answered well, maybe, kinda. I mean, I thought about it the other day. Okay, only yes answers here. So number 1, do you get 7 to 8 hours or more 8 of sleep per night. So 7 to 8 or more hours of sleep per night. If you do, put a little tick mark. So one little tick mark for number 1. Yeah, okay, so while y'all are answering, Anna said she ends up using her reading glasses to keep her hair back. So, okay, so I can do that too, except then I can't see my tape measure. So, yeah. So that one didn't work for me while I was measuring this lady's kitchen. Okay, number 2, do you keep comfortable shoes at your desk or in your car? So if you don't have a job where you go to a desk, do you keep them, near the door? If you're driving, do you keep them in your car? But do you keep a comfortable pair of shoes? And it doesn't have to be running shoes, like I'm not ever running, but do you keep a comfortable pair of shoes handy? Let's call it that. So at your desk, in your car, in a tote bag, something like that. So if the answer is yes, so if you have comfortable shoes, and they could be tennis shoes, they could be walking shoes, they could just be something more comfortable than, than what you wear to work or, whatever. If you keep a comfortable pair of shoes at the ready, that's a tick mark for yes. Okay. Number 3 is a variety of foods. Do you eat a variety of foods? And a variety doesn't have to mean that you eat all 200 things on the 0 points food list. It just means, do you get a good, variety? And Linda, if you only wear comfortable shoes, that's a yes. So that's a tick mark because they are at the ready. They are on your feet. So do you eat a variety of foods? And I mean, it's okay if you eat, like if you have a standard breakfast, a standard lunch, a standard dinner, that's okay. I just need to know if you eat a variety. If you're not like a toddler and you're just eating chicken fingers and fries every day. Or in Alyssa's case, it would be turkey sticks, cheese, and yogurt every single meal. She would eat that every single meal. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4 is, do you weigh yourself at least once per week, but not more than once a day? So weighing yourself at least once a week. I mean, once a week is fine, but not more than once a day. So, Debbie, I don't know. Since you don't live near the beach, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, because you couldn't just like get up and go out for a walk barefooted. I don't think you do. Now, see, if you said that you lived in a cabana on the beach, then I would say, heck yeah, that counts. Okay? And Sarah says number 3 is harder because she has a habit of repeating sometimes. That's okay. That is okay. I didn't mean you have to eat something different. I just mean, is it a wide variety? Like, are you eating different colors of food? Different things. So, okay. And then number 4 was weigh yourself at least once per week, but not more than once per day. Number 5 is report in. Do you turn yourself in? Okay, so Debbie, that counts as a yes. So do you report in to an accountability partner? And that might be somebody at a meeting that's weighing you. That might be somebody that you text your weight to. That might be just tracking your weight on your app. But do you report in to either like an accountability partner, a coach, a friend or a family member or something like that? Do you check in on a regular basis with an accountability person? So like for me, Melissa and Ann is Melissa here? I'm trying to think if I saw her name come up. But so like for us, me, Melissa, Ann, Karen, those of us that go to Gwen's group on Tuesday nights, when we go and check in with Gwen on Tuesday nights, that's a yes, because we're checking in with either Gwen or Debbie, and we're checking in with each other too. So we all get a yes, every Tuesday. Okay, number 6 is, do you track on a consistent basis? A consistent basis, yeah, okay, I'm just going to sidetrack real quick. And her eyes were puny Tuesday. She came in and weighed in, and her eye, she just looked puny. So you might want to check on her. Okay, do you track on a consistent basis? And track on a consistent basis doesn't mean complete. It doesn't necessarily mean complete. So it doesn't mean everything every day, unless you do that. But consistent, like, do you track breakfast every day? Or do you track once a week? Or do you open your app, once a day to, in an effort to track? So tracking on a consistent, whether or not it's complete, but a consistent basis. Number 7 is, do you stand or move at least once every hour that you are awake? So you do not need to get yourself up when you're asleep, but are you standing or moving at least once every hour that you're awake? Oh, and I got to talk fast. Number 8, Are you setting a STAR goal on a regular basis? And a STAR goal, remember, that's a goal that is specific, truly doable, actionable, and relevant to you. So are you setting a STAR goal on a regular basis? And that might be every day, every week, every month when you think you need one, you know, whatever. So are you setting a STAR goal on a regular basis? Number 9, do you know what your next meal is going to be when you're eating this one? Or do you keep a healthy snack in your purse, bag, whatever? So that one's an either or. Do you already know, like, so if you were eating dinner right now, do you already know what your next meal is going to be? Or do you have a healthy snack in your bag, purse, you know, for a purse check, for hashtag purse check? Okay. And then number 10, is your willpower strong? Do you have a strong willpower is number 10. If you have a willpower of iron, like if you can say, no, Girl Scouts, no, absolutely not. If you can buy something and take it home and not open it and eat it, is your willpower that strong? If your willpower is that strong, then you get a tick mark for a yes. Okay. And I'm talking willpower. Okay. And that's actually a trick question. Okay. So now I need you to tally them up real quick, because I've only left us like 3 minutes to finish this portion of it. So real quick, tally them up and let me know how many you have. So everybody just kind of shout out how many you have, how many yeses you had. Again, it's not a contest, and Linda's got 7. It is not a contest. This is for your own information. I just want to hear y'all shout out. Marlene's got 6. Lynn has 6. Mary has 7. Y'all are kicking it. Anne's got 6. Wow. Carol Lou's got 8. Vicky's got 6. And I'll do like a couple more. Cheryl has 10. How have you got 10? And Orlando Debbie has 8. And Sherry has 10. How on earth do y'all have 10? Okay, and Kim has 5. Okay, so I double and triple checked my sources on this. And so I checked on how to, and hello, Jonna. I know, I warned everybody that the time was changing. But I double and triple checked my sources on this. And I checked out how to maintain a healthy weight, and absolutely zero of the things I looked at, which included the National Institute for Health. It included, WebMD. There were several different credible sources that I checked, and none of them mentioned willpower at all. So none of them said anything about willpower as far as being successful in your weight loss or in a long term. So like if you got to go weight today, what are the habits that you're going to have to form to keep that long term? So just know that all the rest of those things, everything else that you either put a tick mark next to or didn't, though all the rest of those were healthy habits that are proven effective to either lose weight or to maintain weight once you have lost it, but willpower did not appear in there anywhere. So scoring less than 9 is not a problem. It's absolutely not a problem. And that's actually your homework for this week. So your homework for this week is hashtag no more willpower. We can quit worrying about it. So if you do have great willpower, fantastic. Bravo to you. Because most of us, me included, my actual willpower is squat. It is squat. I mean, it depends on what's in the car, what's available, what's whatever. Keep a snack, so just the habit of keeping a healthy snack in your purse or your bag or your backpack or whatever, that is the only thing. Willpower does not help me stay out of the golden arches. It doesn't help me. It doesn't keep me from grabbing a candy bar when I stop to get gas. Willpower does not do that. The only thing that does that is that habit that I've had for years of having something healthy to eat, something healthy to eat in my bag. Okay. So Lynn just posted that no more willpower. Thank you, Lynn, for posting that. So that is your homework for this week, or what your homework is this week is all you have to do is just add 1. So if you were a 9 if you were an 8 or below, you just have to add, you don't have to, you just need to add 1 habit from our healthy habits quiz. Just 1, pick something. Maybe it's getting a good night's rest this week. Maybe it's opening your app every week or every day. Even if you don't track anything, if you just open your app to think about tracking, if you did that on a consistent basis, I would say that that's a yes, that that's a new healthy habit. And that healthy habit can lead to other healthy habits. So that's your homework. All you have to do is just pick one of the 10 things, and willpower is not one of them, but pick one of the 9 things that we just had on our quiz tonight and let us know, what are you going to add, and then what are you going to do with it? And Joyce says, what is number 3? By the way, if you all don't know, these will all be printed when Casey does our notes on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and you'll be able to print this if you need to. So number 3 was eat a variety of foods. Okay. It is time to drink some water. So Sandra just reminded me that it is time to drink some water. So this is the portion during our chat where everybody needs to stop and get something to drink. So everybody stop and grab you preferably some water. I'm going to go ahead and drink mine now. We are at the halfway point in the chat. So you're welcome, Joyce. So even if you... Sarah, so even if you're new, these are an hour-long chat, and so we do that first 30 minutes is whatever the topic was for Weight Watchers for the prior week, and then the second half is something. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes we're cooking, sometimes it's just interesting. So we're going to take a little trip back down memory lane today. We're not cooking anything, but I'm going to go ahead and put the apron on because that's how you know. Well, that's how Casey knows when she, and did you see how quick the short hair came out from behind the apron? But that's how Casey knows when it's time to separate the chat. So she will post the entire hour as one video, and then she posts just the second half as its own, just in case you missed, if like if it was a recipe or if we were making something, or if you just wanted this little bit of information, but you didn't want to spend a whole nother hour watching it. You could just skip to the one where the apron comes into play. So these are all on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and you can print all of the notes from www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and you can go back and watch these on YouTube, and that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. I also post these every night, every Sunday night. After we get done, I go ahead and hit share, finish, and then share on Facebook, so you can go back and watch them on Facebook in case you didn't get the message about setting your clocks forward. So just out of curiosity, before we start the second half, does anyone here live in a state that does not observe the time change? Just curious, because I can't remember which states don't do that. And I really, really, really need to know how we lobby for just leaving it alone, because we're all done. We're all done with it. Okay. So, quick show of hands, is there anybody that lives in a state that does not observe the time change? So we just changed to, what is it? Eastern Standard Daylight, no wait, what is it? Let's see, Daylight Savings, DST, Daylight Savings Time is what we're on right now, is Eastern DST, Daylight Savings Time, whatever. We just want daylight more time, okay? Okay. So this is the second half of the chat, of tonight's chat, and today is Sunday. Ooh, Hawaii does not. Interesting. Yeah, and Debbie, is there any chance they do need to end the nonsense there? Okay, so this is chat number 356, and it was titled How to Build Healthy Habits That Stick. So while we were talking about some things from last week, one of the things that I said that I did this week that I'd never done before, one was getting my hair cut above my shoulders. So I've not had my hair cut above my shoulders, I think, since 4th grade. I tried to go back and look, but I think it's been since 4th grade. So did that this week. Second thing was I did all of my grocery shopping at Walmart, and won't be doing that anymore because I didn't save any money, didn't save any time. I think I was there like 2 hours. Just trying to find everything. It's too big. And then I revisited the year 2017. So what does that have to do with anything? I have a question. Do you happen to remember what you were doing on January the 2nd of this year? Does anybody know? It wasn't January 1st, so you weren't celebrating New Year's. Hello, Karen, and thank you. So you weren't celebrating New Year's because it wasn't January 1st. It was January 2nd. Does anybody remember what they were doing on January the 2nd? So those of us that were in Gwen's in-person workshop in Powell this last week, at the beginning of the year on January the 2nd, Tuesday, January the 2nd, 2024. Okay, Debbie was working. Tuesday, January the 2nd, 2024, we were asked to come up with a word of the year. So one word that would encompass our entire year. So it would represent how we wanted this year to go. Okay. I heard all sorts of inspirational things. Like people were saying like, my word is going to be success or focus. Focus was one I heard like 5 times. Win was somebody's word. One of them was forward. Then there were lots more. Me? Well, I could use the excuse that I was on the downhill swing, and I mean downhill swing before we finally went up again, of having the flu the week prior to that, so I didn't pick a word. But it wasn't because I hadn't been sick, because I had been sick. That was not why I didn't pick a word. And it wasn't because my brain was foggy from being sick, or because I had because I still had a cough, whatever. That wasn't the reason that I didn't pick a word. I just couldn't think of a word that wasn't the Sunday school answer of Jesus. And in case you didn't know that, that is the standard answer down here in the South, in the Bible Belt. If someone asks you a question in church, in Sunday school, whatever, if you don't know the answer, if you say Jesus as the answer, everything is forgiven. That is a correct answer for any question that you could possibly be asked at church or at Sunday school. Okay, so I didn't want to give that kind of an answer. I didn't want to just throw out all these very inspirational and I'm sure perfect for them words. I didn't want to throw one of those out. So I just didn't pick one at all. But now, 2 months later, 2 months and a week or so later, Gwen asked us again this past Tuesday night what our word was. She wanted everybody to go back and remember, do you remember what your word was? From January the 2nd? And I was like, nope. My little hand didn't go up. I didn't make eye contact. I didn't have a word. I didn't have a word. But her question, it just kept digging into my brain the whole way home. What's your word, Kelly? What's your word going to be? What is your word? And trust me, Gwen was not nagging. She was just asking if we remembered it. But I just kept thinking, I didn't pick a word. What's my word going to be? Nagging, and that's me. My brain was nagging and nagging. Kelly, you need a word of the year. Kelly, it's already March, and for heaven's sake, you don't even have a simple theme to focus on, okay? Kelly, what are you gonna do? Kelly, and then it hit me. My word of the year is awake, and I'm gonna explain that here in just a second. So, when I say I revisited 2017, I realized, oh my gosh, I need to wake up. I need to be awake. So please humor me with a little trip back to 2020 before we go back to 2017. Okay, so just humor me and going along on this little trip with me. So if you're here, if you are physically here with us, or if you're watching this later, you lived through the pandemic. You lived through it. And you have your own stories about the pandemic. You have your own stories about baking banana bread. You have your own stories about not leaving your house. You have your own stories about your newfound love for grocery delivery. You have all kinds of stories. Here's a little bit about my story and why now it made me revisit the year 2017, why I went back and looked at 2017, and why now I have chosen the word awake for my word to be for this whole year. So in 2015, I got to my goal weight. Remember, I said I've been a Weight Watchers member for on and off for, now almost 30 years. And in 2015, I finally, after all those years, that was the 6th time that I had joined, six times a charm, So in 2015, I got to my goal weight. And actually, I got a little bit below my goal weight. And I got so far below my goal weight that John asked our daughter, Casey, to please ask me to stop losing weight. So that's 30-something pounds ago, okay? So, yeah, that was 2015. Still rocking on along in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and then 2020 happened. So 2020 happened, and everything just stopped. I mean, y'all know the entire world, literally every single day, a little bit more, a little bit more, the world just stopped. We started losing people. You couldn't go anywhere. Some of us were shut in, shut down, whatever. So in 2020, I lost my walking time with Karen, and we had been walking 3 days a week, plus every morning and every night I was walking in downtown Knoxville. You couldn't go outside at first. My variety of food went like this because all of a sudden I couldn't pop over to the store every day when I wanted to get something. My tracking, because we couldn't go to Weight Watchers meetings anymore. So who was I going to tell about what I was tracking? Either my food or my weight. I had nobody to tell because you couldn't go and share with anybody. I wasn't paying attention to what my body was telling me because I was too busy paying attention to, did that person just sneeze? Am I going to get sick? Have I wiped down my groceries? On and on and on and on and on. And I realized, so when I went back and looked at what is my word going to be this year, I've not been awake since 2020. I have literally been sleepwalking. I've been sleepwalking through this since the pandemic. I let the pandemic tell me that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't brave enough, I wasn't whatever. And I literally now that I've realized it, now that Gwen asked us nicely, not the nagging as I described it, I've just been sleepwalking. I've literally been on autopilot since 2020, and this is 2024. Okay, so my word for this year is now officially today. It is officially awake. So let me explain what awake means. Okay, I went back, even though I got to go in 2015, I had really kind of settled in. So is there anybody else here that has been at for any length of time or is currently at their goal weight and a lifetime member? So let me just see a show of hands, quick show of hands, if you are currently at your goal weight and are a lifetime member, or if you have been in the past. So quick show of hands, because I'm going to ask you all a question, and I think that you will agree with me. Okay, Mary, Sandra, pretty sure Debbie fits that list. Kim, if Sylvia was here, I'm pretty sure she'd, be on that list. There's going to be several of us. So, okay, so I'm just going to say I found it easier that sixth time. Dickie's thumbs up. So I found it easier that sixth time to lose weight. So I thought it was easier to lose weight than it was to maintain it. Like, I was scared to death. So Pam, Sarah, yeah, thank you all for sharing that. So I was more afraid of how I was going to maintain it than the losing it. So losing it was, I don't want to say it was easy. Please don't, when I say easy. Oh, and Sherry, the question was, are you at your goal weight and a lifetime member, or have you been in the past? So I'm just looking for just a show of hands, just to see if people agree with me on this. So I don't mean that weight loss was easy, but it was easier. Losing the weight was easier than maintaining it, because everybody was, complimenting me. Oh my gosh, you look so good. I loved it. When my clothes were getting bigger, so losing the weight was kind of the high, like going down was kind of the high point. And when I got down to what my goal is now, I just kept pushing it and I kept going lower. Oh, if I can get to that weight, can I go lower? Can I go lower? Can I go lower? Can I go lower? How much lower can I get? How much lower can I get? So it took me 2 years, almost 2 years. Okay, good. Marlene's at her goal weight. So Marlene, you'll have to chime in on this. So it took me about 2 years to kind of settle out. So for that first year, I just kept creeping down, 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 down. Not a lot, but I just kept creeping down, a little bit, because then I was scared to eat anything. So once I hit my goal and got a little under, first of all, I was scared to eat anything. Second of all, because I was terrified that I was just going to gain it all back, just like I had every other time. So I was terrified that I was going to gain it back, terrified to eat anything. And then it turned into a little game, a little mind game with myself to see how much lower I could go. Okay, so that was 2015 to 2017 was me going eek, 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 going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down a little bit. Yeah, oh, Sandra's 11 pounds below. Is that where you want to be? But it was just that little for 2 years. Then from 2017 until stupid COVID, I was rocking it. Like, I knew exactly how many points I could eat a day. I knew exactly what I could eat a day. I knew exactly what I could have if I was going to give myself a little freedom. And I don't want to call it a cheat day, because you're not cheating anything. You're just you're indulging, So cheating insinuates that you can't have something, then just insinuates that you shouldn't have something or can't have something or no, bad. So, but I knew from 2017 to 2020, I knew what I had to do to stay, to stay right there, to stay within 2 pounds, up and down. And it was constant like this, but that was from 2017 to 2020. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, I didn't just crash. I crashed and burned because I was bitter. I was bitter that Casey and I couldn't go to Planet Fitness anymore. I was bitter that Karen and I couldn't. I mean, we were even afraid to go outside and just walk together. I was bitter that I couldn't go, that I couldn't just wander around downtown because who could you pass? Who should you be near? I was bitter that I couldn't get any fat-free cream cheese. Y'all know I got rid of that bitterness. So, but just bitter. And what do you do when you're that bitter, when people around you are dying, people are scared to death, you can't do anything? When you get that bitter, what do? You shove the bitter down. So you shove all that down with food, okay? For me. So for me, all that COVID bitterness, I just shoved it down with food, the food that we could get. So I went back to 2017 when I realized, Tuesday night driving home, when I realized, awake. Oh my gosh, my word for this year, yeah, you eat the bitter. That's exactly right, Sherry. My word for this year is going to be awake. Not focus. Focus is a great one, but not focus. I know how to focus. Not energized, because I think I got plenty of energy for that. Not hopeful. Some people were just like, hopeful? I'm just hopeful that I can do something this year. All of those were great words and they were all relevant to them. But I, on the way home, as it was going, what's your word? 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 And I realized I'm sleepwalking. I've been sleepwalking through this whole thing for the last 4 years. So my new word is awake. Okay. So why did I go back and visit 2017? Okay, and I think that's part of the reason I got my hair cut too. Not that my hair was cut in 2017, but I just needed something to help me be awake, and not just going through the motions and not just, not just sleepwalking through this whole thing. So I decided to change some things up a little bit. Got my hair cut, got some new glasses, got a couple of new pairs of glasses because I just use reading glasses. But this trip back to 2017, here's what I did. So if you're having trouble with focus, if you're having trouble with refinding yourself, if you're having trouble with, or if you're just looking for a way to be more energy or whatever, go back to a time, even if it has to be 2017. Thank you, Sherry. Even if you have to go all the way back to 2017 or further, even if you have to go back farther than that, go back, and if you can recreate any of that to figure out when you were successful, and it might have been last year, it might have been 6 months ago, it might have been last month, it might be now, but to figure out, kind of revisit it, wake up, be awake, and figure out what you need to do to get back to that point. So here is mine, and sorry we're only talking about me during this second half, but I think it's important. It's important for some of you all, and it's very important for me to say this out loud so that, so I can be awake now. First of all, 2017, I went back through on my phone, because let's face it, we don't ever delete any pictures. We all just go get a new phone with more memory. Am I right? Yeah. So if you've got too many pictures on your phone and if it's way slowed down, for heaven's sake, don't delete anything. Just go get a phone with more memory. Oh, and Marlene, 200. Oh my goodness, Marlene just sent 200 stars. Sorry for the total distraction, but thank you, Marlene. That was so sweet of you. And if you don't know what the stars are, you can send them in the messages, and that just helps to fund a little bit of this that we do here every week. Oh, that's so sweet. I'll just pause for a moment. Thank you, Marlene. That was so sweet. So, I went back to my phone, scroll, and I went back to 2017, and I thought, wow, look at this food. Look at this food that I was eating and taking pictures of every day. In 2017, which was the year that I settled out, so got to goal in 2015, settled out, 2015, and then kept going tick, 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 because I wouldn't eat anything, and then settled out by the time I got to 2017 and was just doing this nice little, riding that little wave of, keeping it all good. So that's why I went back to 2017, started looking at the pictures, and I was like, wow, look at this food. Every single breakfast consisted of an egg or yogurt or some kind of good protein. So let's say, so might be a picture of it might have been a picture of an egg and then some grits and then some fruit, or it might have been a hard-boiled egg and some steamed snow peas and an apple or whatever. But they were beautiful pictures, lots of variety. Remember, I said in the first half that eating a variety of food, so that was number 3. Number 3 in the first half was eat a variety of foods. Do you eat a variety of foods? That was one of the healthy habits that people who were successful in losing weight and keeping it off, eating a variety of foods was one of them. So I'm scrolling through those pictures and I was like, wow, I did eat a bigger variety of foods. I did eat. My mom was still alive and she was cooking for me every Saturday night. She was cooking a completely 100% vegan meal. And I had all these pictures to go back and look at all of this. So eating a variety of food, going back and looking at my pictures to see what was I eating when I was so successful, and it's not what I'm eating now. Much happier, much better variety, much more delicious, much better for me. So I revisited that. Some of those are coming back around on the menu. The second thing I did was I went back and looked at mine and Karen's, well, I can't track Karen's activity, but I went back and looked at my activity. And I was getting at least 10,000 steps every single day. And there is Melissa. But I was getting at least 10,000 steps every single day. Some days I was getting 12 to 15,000 steps. I was walking multiple times a week with Karen. I was walking every single morning downtown Knoxville. I was walking every single, and I'm sorry, there wasn't downtown Knoxville then. It was another house we were at in between. But I was walking every morning for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, walking every night for about 15 or 20 minutes, walking with Karen, strenuous walk 3 days a week. And I was going to Planet Fitness with Casey. My activity was through the roof. My available time to spend on activity was no more than it is now. Okay. It was probably about the same, except we didn't have the grandkids, but my activity was through the roof. Now, if I get 1,500 steps on the days that I don't walk with Karen, I'm doing good. That's sleepwalking. That's sleepwalking through this. That is not being awake. So now that I'm awake, like this morning, bless his heart, John went to Sunday school with me this morning, and we go in a room where there is no one. Usually there's no one else. It's usually just me and Dusty in this room. And John with me today, and the whole time I was listening to the worship service, which was in the sanctuary, but I had it on YouTube out in our building. I was walking the whole time. So this morning I got 900 and something steps just lapping our Sunday school classroom and listening to the worship music and to our pastor talk, like 900 steps. So being awake, I'm going to be awake and be aware of that. The next thing was not paying attention to my body. So I've not gone so completely off the rails that my tummy's upset anymore or that I'm eating until I get sick, because that was a huge problem before Weight Watchers. Huge problem. Had to keep Pepto-Bismol on hand all the time. Was eating until I got, nauseous. And then I would be like, depending on what it was I was eating, I'd be like, I bet I can take like 3 more bites of this and not throw up. I wonder how many more bites of this I can take and not be sick. I wonder if I just ate the rest of this bag of potato chips, will I be able to sleep all night tonight? Maybe if I prop myself up, a little bit, whatever. So that was pre-getting to goal. That was pre-Weight Watchers and pre-getting to goal. So I'm not talking that level of disregard, but I've just not been paying attention to my body. When my body's telling me, hey, stuff's getting a little tight. Hey, you're having to fiddle with your bra a lot more. Hey, you can't see the bones right here anymore. I just hadn't been paying attention to my body. The biggest thing is, when I scrolled back to 2017, I realized I've been having too many relaxing days remember, we're not going to call them cheat days, because we're not cheating anybody but ourselves. And we're not cheating the scale at all, but too many relaxing days or relaxing food choices or underestimating how many points something was, or saying, oh, I think I had about 15 points left for today, so I'll just eat this and I'll count it as 15 points, knowing full well that it's 20, 25, 30, whatever. Letting the creep come back in where you don't measure things that you have a problem with, like peanut butter for me. I have to know, I either have to measure the peanut butter or I have to get those little Jif individual containers, because if not, I will tell myself every time that I've only eaten 4 points of peanut butter, whether I ate spoonful of it or a jar full of it, okay? I will mark that as 4 points all day long if I'm not paying attention. Little things like treating myself on Tuesdays after Weight Watchers went from being a nice little treat to a bigger treat, to a bigger meal, to stopping and getting something on the way home like Panda Express, or a milkshake or whatever, because it's Tuesday. You know, I don't have to weigh in again until the next Tuesday. So, you know, why not splurge? But that relaxed attitude about what I was eating and how often I was eating it and how often I was doing that, it just got too relaxed because I was sleepwalking through it. I wasn't awake. So I've been sleepwalking through the past 4 years, but now I'm awake. So it took me going back to 2017. It took Gwen, and Debbie a lot less processed. It was very processed in that little, you know, from COVID to now that I'm awake again. It's not been eating so many whole foods and things, or things that I've made, but that little nagging, that little, you know, and again, Gwen is so sweet. She wasn't nagging at me, but just her asking that question to me thinking, oh gosh, everybody else raised their hand. Everybody else had a word. I didn't have a word. I mean, she wasn't trying to make me feel guilty about it. She wasn't trying to make any of us feel guilty about it. But the whole way home, Kelly, what's your word? 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 It's already March. What's your word? What's your word? What's your word? So, I've been sleepwalking for the past 4 years. I am awake now. So, my word for the rest of 2024, even though I started it on March the 3rd, would have been whatever last Tuesday was. Even though I started it then, my word now is awake. What is your word going to be? It doesn't have to be awake. It could be, what did Melissa say a minute ago? Let's see, Melissa said her word is power. Melissa has been killing it on her her exercise routine and picking up exercise. So I do see power for her. I just needed to be awake. So let us know what your word is for this year. Again, no guilt, no pressure, not pressuring you to pick a word, but really, I mean, you know, I needed it. I need to be awake. So y'all are going to see some very different things. Still the same chats, but y'all are going to see some very different things. You know, because now that I'm awake again, I've gotten in just the fact that I'm awake today. I have almost my 10,000 steps in, and I still have an hour to go before where I would have had 1,500. Okay, I would have had 1,500. Still haven't figured out how to replace Planet Fitness for myself and Casey, but I'm working on it. I'm working on how to do that, and we're working on some much better food. So I'm awake now. I'm totally awake. What is your word? Y'all let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube, would love to know in the comments. And if you pull this up on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, would love to know in the comments what your word for the year is going to be. But y'all have a great week this week. I hope you are fully awake now. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please let that next video roll over. Again, that's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. Please let that next video roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. And go ahead and click that little subscribe button that's right down there, and go ahead and click the bell so you'll be notified when we are here. But y'all have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. And remember, next week's my anniversary, so y'all be kind to me. Y'all be gentle with me next week. But I'll see you next time. And great, y'all keep posting those words. Love it, love it, love it. See you next time. Good night.